Hello and welcome to Brightline's Miami Central Station. Today we're heading to Orlando in premium class, continuing our look at day one operations of Brightline's Orlando expansion. Our journey begins at Brightline's Miami Central Station. The third station to open, Miami Central is Brightline's largest and busiest station. The station serves South Florida services to West Palm Beach, and as of earlier this morning, Central Florida-bound trains to Orlando. Miami Central is a multi-level station. Check-in and guest services are found on ground level, restaurants, shops, security, and passenger lounges on the second, and platforms on the third. Upon entering the station, passengers find 5 ticketing kiosks where day-of tickets can be purchased. Attempting to purchase a ticket to Orlando reveals a very limited selection of trains, showing the popularity of Brightline's Day 1 service. Guest services and baggage check are found opposite the ticket machines. Here, passengers can drop their bags ahead of departure or pick them up upon arrival. In the center of everything are the escalators up to the main station, above which is a massive skylight. The skylight punches through the third floor of the station and up to the platforms above. To help project funding, Miami Central includes a host of other services aside from Brightline. Miami Central offers retail space, a food court, office space, and apartments all in one place. Ascending the escalators, we reach the ticketing barriers for the main station. Brightline requires all passengers to scan through with a valid ticket, which is completely reasonable. A quick scan of our ticket and security check later, and we're through into Brightline's flagship station. The first thing passengers will find upon entry is the Smart Class Lounge. The lounge offers plenty of open seating for waiting passengers with outlets beside each chair. 180 degrees from the Smart Lounge is the Mary Mary Bar. Brightline's own line of bars, Mary Mary offers a variety of small snacks and alcoholic beverages to waiting passengers. Beyond Mary Mary is Market, the grab-and-go convenience store. And Market really is just that, grab and go. Passengers enter by tapping a card or using mobile pay. Once inside, you can shop for whatever you want. A system of cameras and sensors in the ceiling track each person and what they grab. I chose a bit of Brightline merchandise, a water bottle, and a hat. Once you have what you want, you just walk right out and the system will automatically charge you. It's a super cool piece of technology, though it does mean you can't use cash, which can be an inconvenience for some. A glance at the departure board up to track 2 shows that we're still set for an on-time departure up to Orlando, with intermediate stops in Aventura, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. Included with our premium class ticket today is access to Brightline's premium class lounge here in Miami. Similar to what we found in Orlando and at all of Brightline's stations, passengers are required to scan their tickets again to be granted entry to the premium lounge. Clearly, Brightline's ticketing system is struggling with the Day 1 Orlando operations, as it takes quite a while for ours to scan. Finally, the gates open and we can head inside. The first thing we find upon entry are a multitude of food options. The selection presented appears to be a mix of breakfast and intermediate snacks, which is strange given it's getting pretty close to lunchtime by now. The breakfast pastries have been moved to one of the work tables beside the entrance. On the trays are a variety of croissants, muffins, pumpkin bread, and fresh fruits. I definitely would have liked something more substantial as a lunch option, but the selection is more than enough to fill an empty stomach. To pair with a meal, Brightline offers a selection of beverages. The self-service bar includes a coffee machine, sodas, water, orange juice, and a few alcoholic drinks on tap. The rest of the lounge offers plenty of seating for waiting passengers, with enough capacity for at least 2 trains worth of people. Almost every seat has a lamp by its side, plus outlets below for charging. For working passengers, Brightline offers a public conference room. The conference room includes a large table with 10 seats, 2 screens, a printer, and a mini fridge with refreshments. Although we entered from the premium lounge, I believe the door on the opposite side of the room opens to the main waiting area, allowing passengers from both service classes to access the meeting space. It's getting close to our departure time, and up on track 2, our train is pulling in. Brightline's Brightpink is completing its southbound run from Orlando to Miami, making it the second train in revenue service to complete the 240-mile trek south. Brightpink wears Brightline's Visit Orlando livery. Although the livery looks great from the outside, the wrap covers the windows, which causes some serious visibility issues once on board. While we wait for boarding to begin, let's take a look at our route up to Orlando. Our journey begins heading north through Brightline's South Florida segment, making stops in Aventura, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. North of West Palm, we reach the first segments of a 110-mile-per-hour track, our train reaching triple-digit speeds with ease. Reaching the Space Coast and Cocoa, our train turns west, the speed climbing to 125 on the first high-speed line in the US outside of the Northeast Corridor. We cross the 20 miles in only a few minutes, our train dropping down to 30 before coming to a stop at Brightline's Orlando station. We'll cover a total of 240 miles between Orlando and Miami today, with a travel time of 3 hours and 38 minutes. The crew works quickly to clean the train before the mass of people ascend the escalators for the 1241 service to Orlando. Heading forward, we find Coach 1, the premium class car on our train. We're seated today in seat 4A, a backward-facing window seat on the double side of the train. Boarding wraps up and Brightpink rolls out of Miami, beginning our 3-hour and 38-minute journey towards Central Florida. Immediately, something is amiss: the windows. As I mentioned on this train's arrival, the beautiful livery covers the windows on Brightpink. The designers have included a matrix of holes to make the outside world at least somewhat visible, but even then, it still ruins the viewing experience while on board. Now, it wouldn't be so bad if there were at least some windows that didn't have this film on them, but we're out of luck, as even the windows on the doors are covered. I understand wanting to advertise your new route, but did you have to ruin the onboard experience to do so? I mean, this is truly awful. Brightline, I love what you have going, but please, for the sake of everyone, get rid of these liveries. As if the windows weren't bad enough, there's another issue. Our coach has a flat wheel. As we leave Miami, what I had thought to be our train passing over track segments is revealed to be an issue with the train itself. From the rear of our coach emanates a low thumping, a telltale sign of a flat wheel. Going back and reviewing the footage of Brightpink arriving in Miami, the flat wheel is even more apparent. Definitely not something anyone wants on a train of this caliber. A distraction comes in the form of a refreshing towel followed by the lunchbox. All trips in premium start with this same cold towel, a welcome way to refresh myself after a long morning. The lunchbox comes shortly after. Really, this should be advertised as a snack box because that's what it is. Included in our box is a bag of popcorn, fruit bar, Ghirardelli chocolate square, and an antipasto pack. Nothing about this really screams lunch, as the box so claims to be. It's definitely a more savory selection than the breakfast box we received on our train from Orlando, but still, this isn't lunch. Wrapping up our midday snack, the crew comes back through for the first drink service. Included in the selection are coffee, tea, sodas, juice, energy drinks, and water, plus a few alcoholic beverages for passengers over 21. I went with a bottle of water and orange juice for this first service, with my eye on something a little more caffeinated for later. The South Florida stops come and go, first Aventura, then Fort Lauderdale, and finally West Palm Beach at the northern end of the South Florida section. As we come to a stop here, Bright Blue is getting ready to depart to Miami on the opposite track. Despite arriving here second, our train is the first to pull away. Bright Blue delayed a few minutes for reasons unknown. North of West Palm Beach is where the expansion tracks begin. From here to Cocoa, we're able to hit 110 miles per hour, with that top speed increasing to 125 from Cocoa to Orlando. If you're enjoying our Brightline Premium Class ride en route to Orlando, why not hit that subscribe button? It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members. If you too want your name in the video, access to exclusive weekly posts, and even the opportunity to vote on future videos, then click the links in the top right or in the description below to learn more. Brightline's Premium Class is operated in a 2x1 with a mix of airline style and group seats across the coach. Each seat is 21 inches wide and includes around a foot of legroom between my knees and the seat in front. The space beneath the seat in front is large enough to store personal belongings or stretch out for a bit of extra comfort. The mesh seat back pocket holds the safety information card and for-purchase menu. A quick access table folds down from the main tray table, the second larger table folding down to meet it. There's more than enough space to dine or get some work done for business passengers. At-seat power is provided through 3 sets of outlets. Beneath the central armrest are 2 sets of outlets and USB-A ports. On the central support pillar of the seats in front is another set, with 2 more outlets and 2 USB-C plugs. The seat adjustment button is found beneath the outer armrest. When pressed, the seat bottom and back slide forward to a comfortable lounging position. Above each row are LED reading lights with luggage racks above that spanning the length of the train. All seats on Brightline are hand-sewn with tons of padding and a winged headrest. They may not be as comfortable as Amtrak's older fleet of seats, but they're nicer than their Venture fleet and are easily comfortable enough for this 3.5-hour journey. Brightline offers free onboard Wi-Fi to all passengers, provided by Starlink. We're online after only a few button presses, and the speeds are great, although the connection was definitely spotty at times. The beginning of this test reads an average of 25.3 megabits per second before the site fails to respond. I noticed throughout my time on board that when the network was connected, the speeds were amazing, but staying connected was a whole other issue. With a track speed of 110 miles per hour, our engineer pushes the throttle forward, the speeds climbing to 90 miles per hour for this first stint to Stewart. Bathrooms on Brightline can be found in the vestibules between coaches 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Pressing the button, the door slides open. A press of the lock button inside slides it back shut. As with any Venture train set, the bathrooms are fantastic. All bathrooms on Brightline are accessible facilities and thus offer a ton of space. The vanity features a Dyson integrated faucet with an automatic sink, soap dispenser, and hand dryer, all three of which are working well. Paper towels can also be found tucked away beneath the mirror. Below the counter are two 120-volt outlets, next to which is the touch-free toilet control and toilet paper. Brightline's bathrooms are always among the most clean facilities on the rails, and this one is no exception. Every fixture is free of imperfections of any kind, with a shine you're not likely to find anywhere else on the move, at least here in the US. Again, Brightline provides a 10 out of 10 bathroom. Returning to our seat, the crew comes back through for another drink service. A caffeinated drink is what I'm craving, so I went with a Celsius. Red Bull is also offered if you want something a little less strong, plus there's always coffee. Our train drops to 25 miles per hour as we cross the St. Lucie River. This bridge and the turn afterward are two of the slowest sections of track on the entire Miami to Orlando line. As our train powers back up to full speed, we once again reach 90 miles per hour, but not for long. As we head up the East Coast, our engineer slams on the emergency brake, our train grinding to a halt on the main line. Unlike a normal stop, this one was much more violent, the smell of burning brakes seeping into the coach from the bogies below. Fortunately, we're nowhere near any crossings, so we didn't hit anything, but it was still a wild occurrence. Climbing back up to speed, we reached 80 miles per hour and then sat there. Even though the tracks are rated for 110, we've been limited to 80 miles per hour for the remainder of the journey. It was unclear what the cause was at the time, with the crew repeating the same unhelpful announcement stating we were traveling slower than normal due to speed restrictions on the route. Before leaving the Orlando station at the end of the journey, I asked the station manager what was up, and was told that our train was limited due to a mechanical issue. My guess was it had something to do with the flat wheel on our coach and the emergency stop, but they didn't have any more information than that. Our slower speeds means we're about 15 minutes behind schedule by the time we reach the split from the FEC. It's just our luck that the speed restriction means we won't get to see 125 in broad daylight, though it's not like we could see anything outside anyways because of this nasty livery. That being said, here's a couple clips from our southbound ride earlier where our train did hit 125. Brightline's high-speed line runs 25 miles from the Florida East Coast Railway in Cocoa to Orlando International Airport. The line is entirely grade separated and fenced off, meeting FRA Class 7 standards which permit operational speeds of 125 miles per hour. Our ride over the high-speed line ends almost as soon as it began, though it was a bit longer than normal due to our 80 mile per hour speed limit. We snake our way through the Orlando Airport complex, pulling to a stop at Brightline's Orlando station about 25 minutes behind schedule. Grabbing our belongings, we can step off Brightpink and into Central Florida. Over on track 1, Brightgreen is getting ready to depart with the 454 service to Miami. Brightpink was supposed to operate this service back south, but because of our mechanical issue and ensuing delays, Brightgreen has been called into service to take over. After Brightpink is cleaned, it'll head to Brightline's base camp for repairs before it's put back into service. Boarding on track 1 concludes and Brightgreen rolls out of Orlando, beginning its 3.5-hour journey south. Heading up the escalators, we enter Brightline's Orlando station. The Orlando station is fantastic, with modern amenities and comfortable lounges. If you want to see an in-depth look at the station or want to check out what it was like on Brightline's first ever service out of Orlando, then click the links in the top right or in the description below to learn more. Adventure now complete, it's time to bring today's video to a close. Next week, we'll be back on the northern side of the East Coast, taking a ride on Amtrak's Vermonter from Springfield, Massachusetts to New York's Penn Station. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you want to go the extra mile with your support, then check out the channel's Patreon or become a channel member. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.